going to do the beef and Guinness pie today. I'm going to show you how to do the filling. You may want to use like a light puff pastry on top, or you might want to do like you can do a sweet potato, a normal potato, a mix of both. That's totally up to you. I'm going to serve ours tonight with a little bit of puff pastry on top. And these are the little tins that I've picked up. I picked them up in Coles. They're like loaf tins, but they're mini ones. So what I'm going to do is just stick the filling in here once they're done, and then I'm going to wrap. I'm just going to place some of the light puff pastry on top, and I'm just going to grease around the edges so that it is easier to come off. And then once that's on, you just put a little slit on the top, and you let them cook in the oven for probably 20 minutes on 190, I would say, because you want the pastry to cook. Okay, getting back to the filling. Firstly, what we're going to do is add 2 tablespoons of olive oil into the pan. The pan is on low at the moment. So we're going to pop that in. Now, what we're going to add to that is the diced onion. So we have 1 onion that's and you want a fine dice on the onion. Okay, so that's going to take probably about 2 to 3 minutes, I would say, just to soften. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grate my cloves of garlic. So as I said, we're going to use 3 cloves of garlic today. Depending on how, like some people love garlic, I love garlic, and I don't really notice it a lot in dishes, but it depends. If you don't really like garlic, you can probably go 1 or 2 cloves. These cloves are like a medium size, they're not large or anything. So I'm going to go 3 cloves of garlic. And now you just want to keep an eye on your onions because you don't want them to burn, you're just getting them to soften. So that's why we have it on a low heat. Now while I'm waiting for the onions to soften, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the flour, tablespoon of plain flour, and I'm just going to pop that over my meat, and then we're going to give that a mix up. So that's basically going to help your gravy come together. This is such a good dish. You can serve it with anything really. If you don't want the pastry, you can serve it with rice, you can serve it with whatever, but obviously it's a beef and Guinness pie, so we do like having the little bit of pastry on top. I'm gonna have salad and veg with mine, and I think I'm just gonna Luke will probably just have this and some veg. It's very you can serve really whatever sides you want with it, like even coleslaw and all that goes lovely with it. But tonight we are gonna have salad and veggies with ours, and just a green salad, nothing major, because obviously you don't really want to be doing extra sides that are going to take up so much time. Remember, this is midweek cooking, and we're trying to keep it minimal. Obviously there's a bit of time goes into the prep work, but once I have all these ingredients into the pan, it's just a case of let it cook for nearly an hour and a half. There's no real minding in it. You might have to turn it every once in a while to make sure it's not sticking to the pot, but that's about it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in my garlic, and I'm also going to add in my mushrooms. You can slice your mushrooms if you like. I do just like a chunky mushroom in my pie, so you can slice them or dice them or do what you like with them. Okay, now into this we're going to put only half a teaspoon of sea salt flakes. No, I'm going to go 1/4 actually. So 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt flakes and half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. The reason I'm only going 1/4 teaspoon of the salt is because we have the tablespoon of soy sauce, and I also have the beef stock. So I'm going to just taste it kind of coming up towards the end to see if it does need more seasoning. So as I said, I'm not going to do that now. So in the pan at the moment we have our olive oil, we have our onions that have softened for a couple of minutes, we have the 3 cloves of garlic, 200 grams of mushrooms, and we're just going to let that cook. I'm going to turn it up a little bit in between low and medium. So we're going to let that cook for a couple of minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to chop up some parsley. Now this is just parsley I've got from the garden, but again, if you don't have fresh parsley, just use a teaspoon of normal or dried parsley. And if you don't like parsley, you can leave it out. You can add in whatever herbs really you like. It's down to personal taste. The best thing about home cooking is well, I generally make it up as I go. Now that I'm doing this, I obviously can't. I have to make sure that my measurements are correct when I'm passing it on to you. But before this, it was just really a case of pop it in the pan and taste as you go. So, but these are dishes that I do cook a lot. We did this recently when we had friends over, and I think we served it with coleslaw and potato salad. And you can, it's fast, it's easy, you're not cooking while somebody's there. You have your coleslaw, potato salad done beforehand. This you can do during the day, have it in your trays, pop it into the fridge, and then when you're ready, or like half an hour to quarter of an hour before you're ready, just pop it into the oven and it'll heat up like that, and you can cook your pastry. So things like that are like, it's planning ahead is what's good about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop maybe 1.5 tablespoons of parsley into the mix. And pies are really good. These are good for batch cooking as well. You can actually make them and freeze them, and then that's your main prep work done. And the thing for any meal really is the prep work. It's the getting ready, the chopping. But a lot of butchers do actually do this chunky beef steak. You don't have to get the best steak for it. Obviously, not the worst steak either, but like this is just beef chunks that the butcher sells, and they're really, really nice. There isn't much fat in them. I did just cut them down a little bit, so they were like 2 centimeters maybe, and I cut them down to 1, just to keep the cooking time faster. But this dish in total, from start to finish, the filling for it takes about 1.5 hours. And then obviously it needs to go into the oven for another 20 minutes, 25 minutes depending, to brown to cook the pastry. So it sounds like a lot of time, but basically once you have all the ingredients in here, it's sitting in the pot cooking itself. You're not really doing anything with it. Okay, I'm just going to show you the onions, mushrooms. So this is the mix. So they have softened slightly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop in our beef. And I'm going to turn it up at this stage a little bit, like so it's in between medium and high. Now this is the part where the dish starts coming together and you can kind of start getting the smell. I will be doing a chicken pie as well. I don't think I'll be doing it next week. It might be the week after. But this was definitely one of the most popular requests I had, was the beef and Guinness pie. I'm making a lot of gravy with mine because the can of Guinness I got was $4.40, so it's the large can. And obviously I didn't want to just use half of it and throw it away. So we're going to make a good bit of gravy. If you do have extra gravy left over, keep it, because you can actually always serve it on top, or you can freeze it and keep it for a different meal again, and it's so tasty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my tablespoon of soy sauce on top. And I'm also going to put in my teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. If you don't have Worcestershire sauce, you can use like a teaspoon of just brown HP or one of those sauces. Or then again, if you don't like it, you can just leave it out. But it does actually add a bit of depth to the gravy. And this is the thing, when people are doing pies and stuff like this, they think that they actually have to buy the gravy and mix it with water and add it in at the end. By doing this you actually don't. By adding the flour at the start, and we're basically frying it all up here, and then once we put in the Guinness, we're deglazing the pan, getting all the flavours back into the pot, and then we're going to add in our stock, and that's then when I leave it cooking for probably an hour and a half. It depends on what way you cut your beef or what beef you actually get. I definitely think an hour and a half, and that's covered, but it is cooking it on a low setting. The meat needs to be falling apart when you check it. If you check it after an hour and a half and you think, oh, it could go another maybe 20 minutes, do leave it. It's not a big deal. Sometimes at the end what I do is leave off the lid, and I let the sauce reduce down. So I let it bubble and bubble without the lid on, and it actually thickens the sauce and it brings more flavour into it. So that's what I will be doing at the end of mine, and I do that for generally 5 or 10 minutes, and then I pop it into the trays. That's a little tip just to make a thicker sauce. Let it reduce, and it does definitely bring out a nicer flavour. Okay, so I'm going to show you into the pan again. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the Guinness. So this is deglazing the pan. It smells like home. Good old smell of Guinness. Okay, so that's bubbling up. It does seem like a lot of Guinness, but it is a beef and Guinness pie. So obviously you do want to taste the Guinness off it. You don't want it too strong. But we are putting in a litre of stock as well. And don't forget, it is going to be cooking for an hour and a half as well on top of it. And we're going to reduce it at the end. So there is a lot of gravy now, but at the end of that will be definitely reduced by about half. So I have this turned up to high now, as I said. So I will just show you in the pot. So this is the Guinness cooking. Now we're going to give that a couple of minutes because obviously we want the alcohol to cook out on it. I just wish that you could smell it, because the smell is just, you can smell the garlic, the parsley, the Guinness, the beef. Yeah, it's just smelling so nice. And the chunky mushrooms, I personally think, make it. If you don't like mushrooms, you could probably add, like you can actually add carrots and whatever else you want into it. But to be honest, I prefer just serving them at the side. I think for this kind of a dish, the onions, the mushrooms and the beef are definitely enough. And the star of the dish then is the Guinness that comes through at the end. And it doesn't taste like a strong alcohol flavour or anything. It's just like a caramel tone through it nearly. It's really, really nice. But yeah, most of the people that are following have, I would say probably 50% of the requests were for this, and the rest then are seafood. Salads and stuff like that for lunches. I don't get a lot of time for doing lunches, but I will hopefully down the track be able to do a couple, maybe do them on a Saturday and be able to video them and show you them that way. But if not, I will be definitely putting up recipes for them soon. Yeah, a lot of people are asking for, and like for lunches that they can do the night before or just something different. So they will definitely be going up as well. But for me personally, it's whatever is left the night before, and I try to recreate something with it the following day. Like today we did have Parmigiana left over from, so today is Monday, from Saturday night. I made it fresh Saturday night, and there was one wrapped and left in a container in the fridge. So we had that tonight. We had that today for our lunch. Some had it in bread rolls, some had toasties, and I had it in a wrap with salad. So you can mix and match and do whatever. And I do find that, and then you're not throwing away. The dog is going mental out because he thinks I'm on the phone just now. Yeah, so you're not throwing it away. That's about it, really. Okay, so this has bubbled. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my stock. And remember, I'm adding a litre of stock. You can make your own stock. I do sometimes. I just haven't had the time lately. But you can buy your bones and stuff like that even from your butcher. And you can just make so many different types of stock. And yes, again, you can freeze it. Simple. And you know exactly what's gone into it. I generally do try to buy the one that has no preservatives, no added salt, anything like that. So, okay, so this is in the pot now. I'll just show you. That's what it looks like. I'm going to leave it in there for an hour and a half. I'm going to pop the lid on it now. I'm going to leave it for an hour and a half. Once I take the lid off, what I'm going to do is leave it reduce for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, depending how thick it is when it's finished. Then I pop it into the trays, as I said, and put the pastry over it. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. Bye.